Hello, I'm Don Walker, and welcome to this week's edition of News in Depth, where we take a closer look at the important stories and issues from across Brevard County. On today's show, we'll take you to Palm Bay for a sneak peek inside the newly expanded Palm Bay Hospital. You will be among the first to see the hospital's new facilities. We'll take you out on the town to hear what local shoppers have to say about new rules the White House wants for credit cards and how the new rules might impact your pocketbook. And we'll share one more tip about how you can prepare your home and your family just in case a tropical storm or hurricane hits Brevard County this season. But first up, there's a new school superintendent in town. Brian Bingley doesn't take over Brevard Public Schools until next month, but the new schools chief was in town this week. He got a chance to spend more time with the senior management team. He got to meet more principals and see more of the Space Coast. He also took time out to stop by here and visit with reporters and editors at Florida Today. Education reporter Megan Downs took advantage of the chance to ask Bingley some questions about his new job and the challenges of leading one of the best public school systems in Florida and the country. It was Bingley's first extended interview since being selected by the school board to succeed Richard DePatri. Let's take a look at what the new boss has to say.
Thanks, Don. I'm Megan Downs, education reporter with Florida Today. You're here with Cram Session on the Air, your stop for education news in Brevard County. You can read our blog at floridatoday.com/education. I'm here with incoming superintendent Brian Bingley, and was just one of the questions we had for you was how to pronounce your name properly. A lot of our readers have been debating that. How do we correctly say your name?
Brian Bingley.
Okay, great.
But Megan, it has been done in many different ways in my lifetime, but Brian Bingley.
Well, hopefully that'll be one of the first lessons of the new school year for the kids is how to say the new superintendent's name then.
my students used to say Dr. B.
Okay.
It was a lot easier for them.
That does make it easier. So we were just wondering, when you're officially coming in and how you sort of plan the transition, how will that go?
Officially on board July 1st, but I've been able to work some transition days this week, and will work some transition days in the 4 days prior to July 1st.
Okay. And so what sort of things does that entail? What sort of information are you trying to garner about the district?
Well, I've had opportunity to meet with a great number of our people in our district office. For the last 2 days, I've been meeting with many of our principals. Throughout this week, I'll be meeting in several schools with principals geographically throughout the county. And so it serves a dual purpose. I get to interact with them, but I also see a lot of the county along the way. And so that's been very positive. I have also met with some folks in leadership throughout the county, and we'll continue to do that as well.
And a lot of parents and community members are wondering what your communication style is going to be like, how they're going to know about your new initiatives. How would you sort of characterize your leadership style?
Well, my goal in entry is to listen and learn and build relationships. So a big part of that, Megan, will be being visible in our schools, in our community. And so I certainly would envision a lot of upcoming opportunities to meet with our community. And not only to talk about my belief and our belief in Brevard Public Schools and in our efforts of continual improvement, but also to hear from them what they want their schools to be.
Right, exactly. So are you coming in with any major goals, or are there going to be any big changes that we should expect?
When I'm asked that, my answer as far as changes go, my short answer is no. Again, my initial agenda is to really just learn and build those relationships. But having said that, one thing that really appeals to me regarding Brevard Public Schools is the ongoing commitment that's been here to continuous improvement. And so that won't change. And so by design, we're going to continually try to find ways that we can work as effectively and efficiently as we can, because the mission is too important to do anything else.
Right. One of the major concerns this year has been the budget situation, and there was a lot of fear we were losing more and more money, it seemed like. Can people expect sort of the same transparency in the budget cuts this year as we've seen in years past?
Well, yeah, I certainly can't speak to any specific cuts or anything, but I think, and you mentioned the term transparency, I have to say that I think that Dr. DePatri and the senior staff, they've been very transparent through the whole process, and have really set criteria that prioritized the budget decisions and stuck to that. And so I think those two things, that real consistent prioritization and the transparency are very commendable.
So one of the things you had shared with us earlier is why you decided to go into education in the first place. What makes you an educator?
I did share with you that I come from a background where my parents did not aspire to go to college. It was never even in the mindset, but particularly my mother had an unshakable belief that her sons would. And we learned very early on that education was going to be valued. And so I say consistently when I have opportunity to speak with parents, I fortunately met teachers and guidance counselors and administrators who saw something in me and pushed me to be the best that I could be. And so I don't need to be told the power that exists when parents who help children value education are met by teachers and counselors and administrators who are committed to the mission of serving children, because I literally am living that every day. And it really kind of helped me, along with some great teachers, say that's what I'd like to do with my life.
Right. So you sort of use that philosophy to run the school district, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. No one in the organization can ever be far from the intrinsic motivation that has to be there, connected to the mission that we have, and that's making a difference in the lives of children.
Great, sounds good. So we'll see you officially July 1st then?
I look forward to it, I really do.
Okay, thank you. This has been Cram Session on the Air. I'm Megan Downs. You can reach education updates at www.floridatoday.com/education. Going back to Don Walker now.
Thanks, Megan. That's a lot of good information for parents, teachers, and staff. When he takes over next month, Bingley will make a lot more than he did as a top leader in the Fairfax County, Virginia school system, but he'll make less than DePatri made. The 3-year contract pays Bingley $202,000 a year. He's eligible for pay raises any year teachers get a raise. The transition promises to be interesting. You can keep up with the change in leadership by logging in daily to our education blog, the Cram Session, at floridatoday.com/education. And tune in here later this month for an extended interview with the departing superintendent as he looks back over a long career in the Brevard schools and talks about what's ahead for the new guy. Now let's show you something new. This week, Health First is showing off what is basically a brand new hospital in Palm Bay. The hospital in Brevard's biggest city has long been the smallest in the county. Not so anymore. Years of effort have come to fruition, and a newly expanded hospital is now opening, and it's twice as big. There are 92 new beds, a new cafeteria, and better intensive care facilities, among other changes. Health First gave us a tour of the new facility, and we're giving you the first look inside.
We're standing in the lobby of the Palm Bay Hospital expansion, which will open in June of 2009. The construction project at Palm Bay Hospital has been going on for the last 2 years, and it came about because of a tremendous need in this community to expand our patient beds. We're currently a 60-bed hospital, and we've created an expanded area to add 80 all-private rooms. We've created a healing environment to promote patient care and patient healing in a very comfortable, warm environment in an all-private room setting for 80 private rooms, 12-bed ICU, 2 special procedure rooms, and a 10-bed observation area. This was supported by our board of directors and funded through funding within Health First. We have a beautiful new entrance into our lobby, which will have a visitor desk for people to come up and ask for assistance. We'll have a visitor badging center there so that when we have patients and their visitors in the hospital 24 hours a day, for the safety of the employees as well as those here, we'll know who's in the hospital 24 hours a day. As you are in the main lobby of the hospital, we have a beautiful new gift shop that's funded by our auxilians. They run it and they do all of the ordering and purchasing of the things that are sold in the gift shop. And one of the things that we are excited that they've added to their expanded things on sale will be durable medical equipment. So if somebody is in our emergency room and is told they need to get a splint or a bandage or even a blood pressure cuff, they, instead of having to go to the durable medical equipment department of a regular store outside of the hospital, will be able to stop by the gift shop and pick that up. A lot of care was put into the healing aspects of the building, and one of the first things you'll notice is the transition space in the atrium area as you first enter the front door. The carpet alone is a geometric design, and it's done that way specifically so that your eyes will transition from the bright Florida sunlight into the natural lighting of a building. Because sometimes, especially for older people, if you had just a dark carpet, it would feel like they were dropping into a dark pool. And we didn't want that. So the architects, the design architects that you work with teach you those things. We wouldn't have known that. So they taught us that by selecting the geometric pattern, your eyes can naturally adjust to the light and your footing is more stable. We've also added like a little internet cafe where we'll have a bank of computers, an ATM machine, Coke machines, a microwave oven, so that as you're here with your family member who's the patient and you're looking for those regular amenities that you need to keep your life going, you'll be able to come downstairs, do some email, catch up on what's going on at the office, and kind of keep your life intact because nobody really plans to be in a hospital. So they've got to keep their normal life going. Our beautiful new cafeteria will be able to seat about 150 people. We right now have a very small cafeteria, so our staff is most excited about this enhanced area. We'll have an outdoor dining opportunity here funded by the City of Palm Bay.
On the second floor, there's a brand new 40-bed patient unit, which is replicated also on the third floor. It's all private rooms, 40 private rooms for our patients and visitors. We've made a decentralized nursing model where the nurses and the other caregivers are able to be closer to the patients and to be able to provide care at the location where the patient is. As we were designing the new units for the nursing staff, we did lots of research, looking at other facilities and what they've done for design engineering for the convenience for the patients, families, as well as for the caregivers. We visited many facilities to look at different designs, and we also brought multiple staff in to look at where bed plugs should go, where gases should go, so that as the workforce is aging, we don't want nurses having to bend over and stoop and use their backs as much.
It was an average of 88 associates a day were hired to work on the project. It's been so wonderful to be able to add jobs to our community during this depressed economic time where people are losing their jobs.
I am very excited about the patient care that we will be able to provide in our new expansion. Having all private rooms certainly focuses on the patient and the care and the family members and allows them to stay in the room with their loved one while they're in the hospital. I'm very excited about the healing environment. We've provided a lot of warmth, a lot of natural light, and the ability for the patient to know that they're in a healing environment when they're in the hospital and to try to get them home as soon as they possibly can. But while they're here, we want them and their loved ones to feel as comfortable as possible.
The City of Palm Bay was one of the fastest growing areas in the state, and we built our hospital expansion to meet the need of this community, this growing community.
The expanded hospital officially opens June 22nd, and the company hopes it will eventually employ another 150 people over the next year, including some people transferring from other Health First facilities in the area. Now for another story of interest to consumers, your credit cards. The White House and Congress have pushed through new rules governing credit card companies. They want to protect you from over-the-limit fees, surprise interest rate increases, and other dangers hiding in the fine print of agreements you sign when you open a new account. But some say the new rules could impose new costs and fees too. The rules are complex and confusing. Our shopping columnist, Autumn Schrum, is here to help us sort it out. She visited this week with shoppers in downtown Melbourne asking what they thought about the changing rules and how they think people ought to use credit cards or not use them. Take a look at what they had to say.
The Credit Card Act of 2009 aims to protect consumers from over-the-limit fees, fine print, and surprise interest rate increases, among many other sneaky practices card companies are notorious for. We headed to downtown Melbourne to talk to shoppers about their credit card use and how the new law will affect them. Some said they only use their credit cards sparingly or not at all.
I'm not using my credit cards unless it's for travel.
Because my dad always told me not to get one. And I just never really needed one. I don't spend more than I need to.
When it comes to using credit cards, the economy is on everyone's mind.
A lot of people are depending on their credit cards to pay for groceries or maybe FPL.
I think right now people do not want to be carrying a lot of debt. For myself, I know I'm trying to pay mine off and just spend only what I have because the economic future is very uncertain at this point.
Reward points are a major benefit to using credit cards for some.
We use our credit card as a convenience. Of course, it's nice to get the cashback rewards, but it's still a convenience.
You only use one card. It's a Disney credit card for the Disney points, so I can turn it in for stays or gifts or things like that.
We have the GM card, which we have the rewards through them, so we could use the rewards towards the purchase of another vehicle if we choose to.
In the end, what's most important to credit card users is paying it off and staying out of debt.
If you have them, put them away and don't use them unless you need them.
Well, I really don't think that any program the credit card companies put into effect is going to help anybody unless you pay the credit card off every month. It's like all credit. You're going to pay for it somehow. Whether it's buying a house or whatever it is, there's interest rates accrued, you're using money that you don't have, and eventually it's going to catch up if you don't pay it off every month.
You can find more consumer news and tips and talk with Autumn every day in her shopping blog at floridatoday.com. The first week of the hurricane season is behind us already, but most people are just starting to think about getting ready. This week, we want to give you another helpful how-to video. This one offers advice about generators just in case the power goes out for a long time when the next storm hits us.
As hurricane season approaches, it's a good idea to service your generator. First, change old oil and gas for maximum performance. Place your generator outside in a well-ventilated area away from combustible materials. Use heavy-duty outdoor-rated extension cords that are grounded. Portable generators vary in wattage and price, so be sure to get the right size to suit your power needs. A small 2,500 watt portable generator costs about $500 and will operate a refrigerator, a window AC unit, TV, and 4 lights for about 5.5 hours. A large 5,000 watt portable generator costs about $1,500 and will operate your refrigerator, a window AC unit, TV, 8 lights, stovetop, deep freezer, clock radio, garage door opener, personal computer, and water well pump for almost 7 hours.
You can find that video and more just like it in our special guide to the hurricane season. It's all online at floridatoday.com. That's our show for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Tuesday with a deeper look into the people, stories, and issues you need to know about. And don't forget, you can get the latest news in Brevard County right here every day at 11:30 a.m. and again at 4:30 p.m. For Today in Brevard, I'm Don Walker. Have a great day.